Hi everyone, my name is Mark Gillingham, President with PolyUnity Tech. Please join me in this exciting conversation about emerging technologies that both Keyin College and PolyUnity are embracing upon.
Well, I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at Keyin College, downtown St. John's, beautiful Newfoundland and Labrador on a sunny day, talking to the folks that are really making a difference in the education sector and more broadly in the healthcare sector in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. I like meeting these folks one by one, and I want to tell you there's a lot of collaboration happening right now in Newfoundland and Labrador. And along that note, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
Well, thanks very much for having me here today, and it's a pleasure to be here at Keyin College and with great friends and colleagues that we have here. My name is Mark Gillingham. I'm president with PolyUnity Tech. We are a 3D printing advanced digital platform company that supplies 3D printed products and services to primarily to the healthcare sector.
Break that down for me. How does that work? 3D products into the healthcare sector. Go from sort of there's somebody on the floor in the hospital saying there's got to be a better way. I wish I had this device. How does that get to you and back to the hospital floor?
Yeah, great question. So 3D printing has been around for probably 40 years at this point, and up till recently, it's probably been more of a prototyping technology, something that was used in labs or large engineering rooms. Now we're at a point where the technology and the capabilities and the materials engineering are really transforming many industries. And so we're at a point where the end-use products are as good and in many cases better quality than other manufacturing methods. And the types of things that you can make are really as kind of wide and diverse as the mind can go. So, within 3D printing, obviously you have standard polymers. We can produce replacement parts and products and lab equipment and things for facilities management. But, that whole spectrum moves now, and a lot of the services that we're delivering are patient-specific anatomical models. So you can take a CT or an MRI scan, and as an example, we're delivering all of the customized bolus services for radiation therapy for the province of Newfoundland and Labrador for the whole health care sector here. And so that's a very specialized, digitized process, but it's much more efficient. There's a lower cost on the healthcare sector. The patient experience is just exponentially better, and ultimately it's a more efficient process in that it takes less resources from our healthcare staff. And so, and then on the frontier of this technology, this is not what we're working on today, but there's customized implants and, even the ability to print with stem cells and bioinks and actually to create organic structures. So, we're really just kind of in pre-game warm-up as to where this technology is going. And I would say, a core part of the challenge when you have something that's moving so rapidly and it's transformational, it's how do you actually bring that level of knowledge and awareness up to a point where people can actually think about it properly, learn how to engage with it. And that's really where I think one of the collaboration points between what PolyUnity is doing and obviously with Keyin is that we need training programs that can help bring healthcare's awareness and education up of how to practically implement and use these technologies.
Yeah, I love that intersection for sure, about educating people, and even nowadays it's about educating people even what to ask for, what's in the art of the possible.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like with AI moving rapidly and sort of the whole ideation process is moving rapidly, which then translates directly to you into producing something for them. That must be a complicated space to be in, yet very exciting.
It's super complicated, but I think ultimately that's our moat, is you can't just pull something from the internet and throw it into healthcare. There's obviously a whole bunch of quality management and regulatory compliances that you have to meet, and we hold a medical device establishment license with Health Canada. We have a validated quality management system that follows ISO standards. But when you layer that piece of regulatory control on, a part of what we've built into our digital platform are those workflows to allow you to take that new innovative idea, bring it in, have the physical or the 3D model created very, very efficiently, a product designed, and then you can move it through that approval validation process and then link it to manufacturing capacity, so you can go from idea to validated product that's then available for manufacturing and supplied to the healthcare sector, at times that were just previously not even thought about. And so, how do we then change the mindset of our clinicians and healthcare practitioners, and people that run our facilities and, provide maintenance to all of these, to all of our healthcare infrastructure, to allow them to understand that this technology is available to them, it's more efficient, it's more cost effective in many cases, and, it's here in Newfoundland and Labrador and they can have it, or in Canada, we deal across the country too as well.
Everything you just described there, you made it all sound so very easy. There's years of work to put all of that into place, all the regulations to get it to where it is today, so that it is now a tool, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a tool in the toolbox of these clinicians out there, and it's a very powerful tool. It must be extremely rewarding for you to produce something that is going to make a patient's life better. That must be an amazing feeling.
We have our driving purpose within our organization to improve healthcare. Like, that's the reason we get up and come to work every day. And, there's days when it's hard and when it's challenging, but when you're having an impact and you're making a difference. And listen, healthcare affects all of us,
right?
Our families, us personally, our community. There's no one that doesn't rely on our healthcare sector. And so, when we see patient scans that come in where, we know that there's a cancer patient sitting on the other side of that product, we turn that as quickly as we can. We make sure it's built with quality and care, and, delivering that back to the healthcare system in a very efficient time, because we know the story of the person who's sitting on the other side of that, and so to your point, absolutely, it's impactful. But it ultimately, it's what drives our culture. It's what drives the work that we put in to continue to improve upon these products and make them more accessible to the larger healthcare world. We know the benefits. It's not just economic, although those are real and good as well. But it is certainly a better patient outcome, a better patient experience, more operational efficiency, savings of our healthcare practitioner time, which is super valuable these days. There's not enough staff. So it does have multiple check boxes, I would say, in where we think the value proposition is. And at the end of the day, it does make you feel good to know you're having a positive impact.
A guy like you, in the work that you do, you're required to think around the corner. You need to see around the corner and where we need to get to. It must be refreshing to be in a conversation with folks here at Keyin who think the same way.
Oh, yeah.
They're thinking way over the horizon. Where do we need to be? What does this need to look like? Not now, but into the future. What's it like to have that sort of a partnership?
Well, I think, whenever you're going to battle, and, we just talked about, the work we do and we're passionate about it, but it's hard. The healthcare sector and a lot of the work that we do, it's really, really challenging work. And when you know that, you've got friends and colleagues and people who are as passionate as you and are competent and can help with program delivery, it's reassuring. It helps you to kind of get up every day and know that you've got someone in your court that's fighting and working with you in the same way. Yeah. And you have the same reasons for getting up in the morning, and you're looking for the same outcomes and trying to have that same type of impact. So it's just really, really, it's a positive engagement for sure, and it makes you feel good at the end of the day.
We're living in a very exciting time as technology is moving at an incredibly rapid pace, but faster than we've ever seen it before, of course. What are you most excited about into the future?
I follow the exponential growth technologies, AI. It's where I've spent most of my days, and I think we're on the verge of solving many or most of the major problems, including healthcare, the major ones, diseases, how we deliver healthcare. And so I think the solutions are coming within the next 5 to 10 to 15 years that are really going to transform our world. The challenge I think we face is how quickly we can have those innovations adopted and made available to the public. I think the solutions are going to be there. The bottleneck is going to be in the procurement adoption of those innovations.
It's not unlike self-driving cars. I think it's there.
Yeah.
We're just not ready to accept that yet, right?
Exactly.
Exciting times for you. I'm so happy that you're in this conversation with Keyin. Equally exciting what they're doing. Sounds like a perfect collaboration. Thanks for being in the conversation.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.